When you think big, you win big, ladies and gentlemen. They say the size of your dreams determines the size of your victories. Life will always offer you two choices: to stay within the walls you have built for yourself, or to break them and see what lies beyond. Most people choose the safety of the small, not because they lack the desire, but because they fear the risk. But those who dare to dream big, those who dare to think beyond their circumstances, they are the ones who discover that the world has always been bigger than their fears. Thinking big is not about arrogance. It's about vision. It's not about expecting miracles without effort. It's about believing in possibilities so much that you're willing to work for them every single day. 1. Big thinking starts with big belief. Every single journey towards greatness begins in the invisible space of the mind. Before you build a business, before you win a medal, before you create art that touches hearts, you must first win the battle against self-doubt. That is where most people lose. They underestimate the power of belief and overestimate the weight of their limitations. They forget that every skyscraper was once just a thought in someone's mind, fragile and intangible, but fiercely protected until it became reality. Belief is the soil in which the seeds of big dreams grow. If your soil is poisoned with doubt, fear, and negativity, no matter how many seeds you plant, they will wither before they see the light. You must protect your thoughts from voices that tell you you can't, and instead nourish them with reminders of your worth, your potential, and your resilience. Big thinking is like sunlight to these seeds. It awakens possibilities that were asleep inside you. There will be days when your belief will feel like a flickering candle in a storm, but those are the days you must guard it most fiercely. Because the moment you lose belief in yourself, you hand over control of your life to the circumstances around you. Belief is not something you wait to have once you succeed. It is the thing you must carry with you before you even start. Some will call your big thinking unrealistic, even foolish. Let them. It is not their job to understand your vision. It is your job to hold it close until it becomes undeniable. The truth is, small minds can't comprehend big dreams because they have never allowed themselves to think beyond survival. But you are here not just to survive, you are here to create, to build, to impact. Think of every person who has ever changed the world. They were laughed at before they were celebrated. They were doubted before they were respected. They were told no before they became the living proof of yes. They dared to believe in something bigger than the reality in front of them, and because of that, the world remembers their names. So, when you think big, you must protect your belief as if your entire future depends on it, because it does. Big thinking will only lead to big winning when it is rooted in unshakable belief, the kind that refuses to bow to fear, the kind that doesn't wait for approval, the kind that grows even in darkness. 2. Your comfort zone is your biggest enemy. The comfort zone is seductive. It whispers promises of safety, of predictability, of peace, but what it never tells you is that it's also a prison. A prison without visible walls, yet strong enough to keep you from living the life you were meant for. Inside your comfort zone, nothing new happens. No growth, no breakthrough, no magic. Just repetition. Just the same familiar cycle until time quietly runs out. Stepping outside of it feels like walking into the unknown with no guarantee of what you'll find. That is why so many choose to stay. They'd rather live with the ache of what if than face the risk of failure. But here's the truth. The risk of staying where you are is far greater than the risk of stepping out. Because when you stay small, you slowly become a shadow of the person you were meant to be. The discomfort you feel when you try something new is the sign that growth is happening. It's the resistance that stretches your capacity. The first time you face the unfamiliar, it feels overwhelming, almost unbearable. But with each step, fear loosens its grip, and you begin to see that the unknown was never the enemy your reluctance to face it was. Big thinking cannot survive in the suffocating air of comfort. It needs space. It needs adventure. It needs the friction of challenges. You cannot claim you want to win big while refusing to leave the places where you feel most safe. Every extraordinary story began when someone walked away from the familiar and into the uncertain. When you step out, you will stumble, you will doubt yourself, you will even think of running back to safety. But remember, the path to your dreams will never be found inside the walls you've already explored. It will always be just beyond them, waiting for you to take that one brave step. If you want to win big, you must be willing to be uncomfortable. You must embrace the trembling hands, the racing heart, the unfamiliar path, because these are not signs you are failing, they are proof that you are finally growing. 3. Big goals demand big effort. Dreaming is beautiful, but dreaming without action is like planting seeds and never watering them. You can think as big as you want, but if your actions are small, your results will be too. Big goals are not won by those who simply wish. They are claimed by those who are willing to match their dreams with relentless effort. Effort is the bridge between your vision and your victory. It is the daily grind, the sacrifices, the moments when you show up even when no one is watching. The truth is, everyone loves the idea of success, but very few are willing to pay its price. That price is consistency, discipline, and the refusal to quit, even when progress is invisible. Some days, your effort will feel unrewarded. You will pour your energy into something and see no results. That is the moment when most people stop, but that is also the moment when champions push harder. Because they know that effort compounds silently, and one day all those unseen hours will explode into a result that looks like overnight success to everyone else. Big effort means being willing to do more than the bare minimum. It means staying an extra hour when you want to rest, studying a little deeper when you want to sleep, practicing again when you want to stop. It means saying no to distractions, no to easy shortcuts, and yes to the hard road that leads to extraordinary results. Every win you will ever have is built on a foundation of days where you could have quit but didn't. Those are the days that separate dreamers from achievers. Those are the days that build the muscle of perseverance which will carry you through every storm. If you want to win big, you must understand that your effort is the loudest proof of your dreams. Talking big is easy. Thinking big is important, but only acting big with all your heart, with all your energy will lead you to the victories you imagine. 4. Surround yourself with big thinkers. You are the sum of the voices you allow into your life. If you spend your time with people who see limits everywhere, you will start to believe that limits are all that exist. But if you choose to stand among people who see possibilities, you will begin to notice doors where others see walls. Your circle is not just your company, it is the mirror of your future. Big thinkers expand your perspective. They make you uncomfortable in the best way because they challenge you to think beyond your current level. They speak a language of vision, of opportunity, of what if we can instead of why we can't. Being around them forces you to level up because mediocrity cannot survive in the company of ambition. The wrong environment can shrink your dreams without you even realizing it. Subtle discouragement, constant negativity, and the absence of vision will slowly convince you that small is safe and safe is enough. That is why you must guard your circle with the same seriousness you guard your dreams. Protect your vision from voices that try to convince you it's too big, too far, too impossible. Sometimes surrounding yourself with big thinkers will require letting go of relationships that no longer align with your growth. This can be one of the hardest steps because the comfort of familiar people can keep you tied to familiar results. But if you want to think big and win big, you must be willing to release anything and anyone that keeps you small. When you are in the right circle, ideas flow, energy multiplies, and courage becomes contagious. You begin to believe in things you once thought were beyond your reach, simply because you see others reaching them. Their wins fuel your belief, and your wins fuel theirs. That is the beauty of being in a space where ambition is not questioned, but celebrated. The truth is, you don't just need people who think big. You need people who act big. People who not only dream but move, not only talk but build. Because when you walk with such people, you stop merely thinking of winning big and you start preparing to do it. 5. Failure is a step not the end. The moment you choose to think big, you also choose to face bigger failures, not because you are weak, but because big goals come with big challenges. You cannot climb a mountain without facing the risk of falling. But falling does not mean the mountain is impossible. It only means you are in the middle of your climb. Failure has a way of making you question everything, your worth, your dream, your effort. In that moment, it's tempting to believe it's a sign you should stop. But in reality, failure is proof you are trying, proof you are stretching beyond what is comfortable. Every fall leaves you with knowledge you didn't have before, and that knowledge is what will make you stronger for the next step. When you look closely, you'll see that every person who has won big carries a history of failures. The difference is, they didn't see failure as the end. They saw it as a chapter in their story, not the closing line. They learned, they adjusted, and they kept moving forward, sometimes limping, sometimes crawling, but never stopping. Big thinking teaches you to see failure as a teacher, not an enemy. It teaches you that losing a battle does not mean losing the war. It gives you the resilience to try again and again and again until the win comes. Because the truth is, the bigger your dream, the more times you will have to stand up after falling. There will be moments when the weight of failure feels heavier than the dream itself. In those moments, you must remind yourself why you started. You must see the vision in your mind so clearly that it becomes more powerful than the pain in your heart. That is what keeps you going when quitting seems easier. If you want to win big, you must make peace with failure. Let it shape you, not break you. Let it refine your vision, not erase it. Because one day, the very failures that made you question your path will become the proof that you were always strong enough to reach the top. At the end of the day, when you think big, you are not just setting goals, you are setting a new standard for your life. You are declaring to yourself and to the world that you refuse to live within the limits that fear, doubt, or circumstance have placed around you. Thinking big is an act of courage. A decision to see beyond what is and believe in what can be. It's a promise to keep moving forward, no matter how uncertain the path, no matter how many times you fall. And when you hold that vision close and match it with the discipline to act, the humility to learn, and the courage to persist, the victories you once thought were impossible begin to take shape in front of you. Winning big is not an accident. It is the natural outcome of refusing to settle for less than what you are capable of. It is the reward for believing when others doubted, for acting when others hesitated, for standing tall when storms tried to break you. Every giant leap begins with a bold thought, and every bold thought becomes reality when you are willing to fight for it. So think big, because small dreams will never ignite your soul. And when you think big long enough, hard enough, and fearlessly enough, you will not just win, you will win beyond anything you could have ever imagined.